Hey everybody, good morning to you. Sunnyvale Rejects back in the house with another little video. And this morning's video is going to be on my beautiful, my staggering Michael Crichton collection. No, I don't have all of his books, but the ones that I have, they're just beautiful hardbacks, and I'm proud to have them on my shelf. You guys probably know all about Michael Crichton, right? I mean, he was born in Illinois. He died in Los Angeles in 2008. He wrote 26 books, but he also wrote under pseudonyms, not just Michael Crichton. He attended Harvard. Initially, he studied English, but interesting story. He had a professor there that was marking him, giving him low grades on purpose, and he worked out a deal with another professor to have a little experiment, let's just say. And so one day he turned in an essay written by George Orwell, and that professor gave him a B minus. Boo! But he said, listen, if Orwell gets a B, I better switch programs, right? So he switched into the medical program and ended up getting a BA in anthropology, actually. I think biological anthropology. Oh God, I hope I'm not wrong. And then he went to medical school, of course. But, he gave up practicing medicine to become a very, very serious writer. One of the most commercially successful of our time. I think about 200 million in print. They turned a dozen into movies. And really, his focus was techno thrillers, right? Paleontology, nanotech, biotech, genetic modification, that kind of things. And the ultimate question that his work seemed to ask is, yes, we can do this, but should we? That was the question. You ponder that while I show you some beautiful books. And let's start at the very beginning. Andromeda Strain, the one that started it all off. He said at Harvard nobody wanted to sit with him during lunch, but after he published this book, everybody wanted to sit with him. And isn't that the way it is, really? But this is a nice first edition paperback. Got it in the mail a couple of days ago. What if there was a virus so lethal it could kill people as quickly as they took a breath? What if it spared some people from instant death but drove them hopelessly insane? What if the swiftest acting, deadliest virus ever known to humankind could be spread by no more than a gust of wind from the remote desert site of its first massacre to the busiest cities of America? Look at that, it's a nice, beautiful copy. This is all embossed. The Andromeda Strain. Everybody knows and loves this book. Come on. Jurassic Park. You can't go into any store like, Walmart or Target without seeing Jurassic Park toys everywhere. They made a lot of movies after the original, the first three that don't have anything to do with the book, but they're still making them somehow. It was wildly popular, wildly successful. Then, of course, we've got The Lost World. Big, chunky book. What do you think? Yes. They are eye-catching, aren't they? Something has survived. The Lost World. Y'all know all about The Lost World. I know you do. Congo. Look at this beautiful little paperback. It's Michael Crichton's Congo. Beautiful little paperback. An old-fashioned thriller, diller, ingenious, imaginative. Deep in the Congo, near the legendary ruins of the lost city of Zinj, an 8-person field expedition dies mysteriously and brutally in a matter of minutes. 10,000 miles away at the Houston-based Earth Resources Technology Services, Karen Ross watches a gruesome video transmission of all the ill-fated team's deaths. A camp destroyed, tents crushed and torn, equipment scattered in the mud alongside bodies, and the grainy, moving image of a dark, blurred shape. It's an ape on the rampage. It's Congo by Michael Crichton. From start to finish, the tension, the action doesn't stop. A lot of people will say that Crichton focused more on science than he did plot and character, but you read it. Tell me what you think. I think the science isn't too heavy. I think it's just enough for the everyday, reader to grasp, and you just go with it. You don't sit there and question it and look things up and fact check it. You just go with it, enjoy the story, grow with the characters, just have some fun. And there's a moral, there's a message in his work. Sphere. Look at this, another beautiful paperback. We always talk about design on this channel, and this is a fabulous design. Gold embossed name, title. Look at that. What a great place to start if you're new to Michael Crichton and want to delve into his catalog. Start with Sphere. A page turner. Crichton's writing is cinematic. With powerful visual images and non-stop action, this book should come with hot buttered popcorn. In the middle of the South Pacific, 1,000 feet below the surface of the water, a huge vessel is discovered resting on the ocean floor. Rushed to the scene is a group of American scientists who descend together into the depths of the sea to investigate this astonishing discovery. What is it? I'll tell you. It's a spaceship. It could be 300 years old, and that's not a spoiler. You will love this book. Give it a shot. It's Michael Crichton's Sphere. Rising Sun. Rising Sun by Michael Crichton. This is, Knopf. They did such a great job with these books. They're rich, thick, luxurious paper, heavy, solid books that you want to collect. Look at that. He's a good-looking dude. He was 6'9" also. By the time he was 13, hell, he was already a gentle giant. He played basketball at Harvard, y'all. But the Rising Sun, a lot of people have, described this as Japan bashing, but it's not. In fact, he's got strong opinions, don't get me wrong, but they're all informed, and I think they're fair. But in Rising Sun, he actually had just come back from a trip to Asia, let's just say, and he went to a lot of the major Asian cities, and he said that they're very efficient and clean, and people, like for example, the customs, when you go to the airport, were very fast and efficient. They didn't waste any time. And when he came back to America, he saw our dilapidating, customs halls, and our people were slow and weren't very efficient, and he compared those two things at least and found that the Asians are very efficient folks. Beautiful people too, right? Laborious, genius. It's Michael Crichton's Rising Sun. On the 45th floor of the Nakamoto Tower in downtown LA, the new American headquarters of the immense Japanese conglomerate, a grand opening celebration is in full swing. On the 46th floor, in an empty conference room, the dead body of a beautiful young woman is discovered, and the investigation begins. Fast-paced, page-turner. Michael Crichton, Rising Sun. What else we got? We got Disclosure. When it came out, oh boy, did it piss a bunch of people off because it's about sexual harassment, and it flipped the norms on their ass. The aggressor here's a woman. That pissed a lot of people off. Some people said, that's not the way it really is. But trust me, it goes both ways. And this story, it was based on a true story, and it just kind of fell into his lap. A brutal struggle in the cutthroat computer industry, a shattering psychological game of cat and mouse, an accusation of sexual harassment that threatens to derail a brilliant career. This is the electrifying core of Michael Crichton's new novel, his first since The Rising Sun. Great book, boring-ass movie. But what do you think? Tell me in the comments. And while you're there, please like and subscribe. And while I'm talking about that, let me say thank you so much. I love you guys. Your support really matters to me. And if you're new to this channel, welcome. If you drop a comment, I promise to respond. I read every comment, and I respond quickly. Airframe. I think what this book is pretty much self-explanatory. Air disasters, terrifying. We all fear it, even though we act like we don't. Just like when we hear a bump in the night, even though we don't believe in ghosts. We wonder. We go there. But this is a beautiful book. All of these books are first edition, first prints, except for Jurassic Park, and that's an 8th printing. 3 passengers are dead. 56 are injured. The interior cabin virtually destroyed, but the pilot manages to land the plane. At a moment when the issue of safety and death in the skies is paramount in the public mind, it always has been since the advent of airplanes and zeppelins and other flying machines. A lethal mid-air disaster aboard a commercial twin-jet airliner bound for Hong Kong to Denver triggers a pressured and frantic investigation. As well it should. It's Michael Crichton's Airframe, and it's generally, like if you go to Goodreads, this is generally listed as like his 5th best book based on reviews. What do you think though? I'd love to know. I have not read this. Timeline. And I swear to God to you, for a long time I had no idea what this is, but now I get it. It's a Knight's Helmet. It's Timeline by Michael Crichton. And this book is mind-bending. Time travel's fascinating. That's a cool picture right there. I like that. And again, we got that great Knopf paper. These books feel good, like Anne Rice. You know, they're same publisher, same type of paper, and you want to collect these books. Michael Crichton's new novel opens on the threshold of the 21st century. It is a world of exploding advances on the frontiers of technology. Information moves instantly between the 2 points without wires or networks. Computers are built from single molecules. Any moment of the past can be actualized, and a group of historians can enter, literally, life in 14th century feudal France. Excuse me. If I could go back into time, I don't know where I'd go. Where would you go? Just water. Where would you go? We'll read Timeline and find out where Michael Crichton would go. Or his characters, at least. Then we have Prey. Also a highly rated Crichton book. Prey. Dangerous, evolving, self-aware nanotech. Again, in a beautiful book. Really, these books are nice. They feel good. And they look good on the shelf, side by side. And they're all standalones, damn it. So you can start with Michael Crichton anywhere. In the Nevada desert, an experiment has gone horribly wrong. A cloud of nanoparticles, micro-robots, has escaped from the laboratory. This cloud is self-sustaining and self-reproducing. It is intelligent and learns from experience. For all practical purposes, it is alive. It has been programmed as a predator. It is evolving swiftly, becoming more deadly with each passing hour. Oh boy. Prey by Michael Crichton. You can get his books for very, very little, you know, for cheap on Amazon and Pango Books and other sources. And I say give it a shot, man. Michael Crichton was something special. He was such a cool, nice, calm, calculated guy. And he didn't take himself too seriously, or, I don't know, bragging's not the right word, but when it came to being called a genius or talking about his wealth, he just very humbly said he writes books that are hopefully good enough that you like one enough to read the next, and I liked that. And he went through severe depression after, I think it was after Jurassic Park got famous, and he got all that money, and he saw how easy success could come, and he contemplated suicide, but I'm glad he didn't. And if any of you guys out there have ever thought about it, don't ever give up on yourself. You'll never realize how good life can be. The bad times don't last, and neither do the good. So enjoy every second. What's next? It's State of Fear. Damn you, it's State of Fear. Big, thick-ass, 600-plus page book. Let's see. Oh, my God. Yeah. 601. Yeah, something like that, right? 601. Big, thick-ass book that pissed a lot of people off because they thought that he was a climate change denier. I think he recognized that climate change was happening, but very, very slowly, and just wasn't the life-threatening, immediate situation that a lot of people thought it was, you know? Not belittling their opinion, but there's a lot of false information out there, and trust me when I tell you guys, misinformation is a very effective tool. For example, I gotta say it, y'all, please pray for our brothers and sisters in North Carolina, in Tennessee, in every other area that was affected by that hurricane, and all across the damn globe, people being affected. Pray for people, create that good energy. But why is it that FEMA mishandles every emergency that they're called to? They are in the way, folks. How could that be? Some people say it's because that area is the richest in the world, basically, with lithium, and they're already bulldozing that place because they tried to buy the houses and those people wouldn't sell. And so what do you do with people who won't sell when you need what's underneath them? Maybe you create a national disaster. Maybe. Is it like Maui? You guys tell me. State of Fear. Nice big book. Thus begins Michael Crichton's exciting and provocative techno-thriller, State of Fear. Only Crichton's unique ability to blend scientific fact with pulse-pounding fiction could bring such desperate elements to heart-stopping conclusion. The techno-thriller. The page turner. Michael Crichton. And next, we have Next by Michael Crichton. Love his book covers. Love it. I would love to, I mean, look, I love to read. Writing is more fun. well, in the beginning, and then it becomes a lot of damn work as you're revising and editing and arranging and getting it ready for publication. But I'm just fascinated with books, the way they're produced, the way they look, the way they feel, the way the right book smells. If you've ever, found a book in a library or something like that and curled up in a cozy corner, maybe it's cold outside or it started to rain, and you're really engrossed in that book, and it's got a certain smell to it, antiques, nostalgic. I don't know what it is, but it's calming and soothing and has put me to sleep, especially at night when I'm reading. Michael Crichton next. Something happened. Is a loved one missing some body parts? Is a loved one missing some? Is a loved one missing some body parts? Y'all, that is why punctuation is so important. Let's try that again. Is a loved one missing some body parts? Are blondes becoming extinct? Is everyone at your dinner table of the same species? I often ask that myself. People's origins are somewhat of a mystery to me. Humans and chimpanzees differ in only 400 genes. Is that why a chimp fetus resembles a human being? And should that worry us? There's a new genetic cure for drug addiction. Is it worse than the disease? Yeah, and see, look, I'll show you. There was some bold print there throwing me off. I could have used some punctuations, But anyway, let's see. Yeah, sounds like a pretty interesting book, and that's the question, right? As technology advances, we appreciate the conveniences that it affords us, but at what cost, y'all? Before long, humans will be obsolete. Computer programs will be running the robots and stuff, building stuff in factories, for example, and we'll just be living in bubbles off the government, getting our $300 a month check, Next, we have Pirate Latitudes. Pirate Latitudes. I have heard this book sucks tremendously, and I hate to think that a Michael Crichton book sucks, but I've heard that this book sucks tremendously. But I had a chance to buy it, and I saw the cover, and again, y'all, I just love books. It is a habit. Some people, I'm talking habit, some people crave drugs, for example. Coffee, soda, you name it. For me, it's books. But I have not bought one since I told y'all I wouldn't. I have not bought another book since I told you I wouldn't. So stick with me here. I need your help. I'm trying to wean myself off of buying books so that I can look at and study and read the ones that I have and talk to you guys about the ones I have, instead of putting the reading off by buying and searching for new books. Because when I'm looking for books, it becomes an all-day chore. I study every aspect of it. I zoom in. I make sure it's perfect. I read the blurb. I read the reviews, because I don't just buy stuff to buy it. I buy stuff to collect. It's stuff that I want to read and talk about. That's it. Anyway, Pirate Latitudes. Florida's a great place to read a book like this. There's Florida right there. You can see Lake Okeechobee from space. I'm right there. We have another hurricane coming, y'all. It's going to be a Category 3 supposedly when it hits Tampa, but right now almost all of mid to southern Florida is in the cone, you know what I'm saying? From one of the best-loved authors of all time comes an irresistible adventure of swashbuckling pirates in the New World, a classic story of treasure and betrayal, and that's Michael Crichton's Pirate Latitudes, and it's a beautiful book, and it's a thin book for a Crichton book. It's 300 pages, that's very little investment of time for such a cool story by an amazing writer. Give it a shot. Maybe you'll love it. Maybe it'll be your favorite Crichton book. Micro, bought strictly for the cover. No, I knew at some point I was going to read it, but I'll look for awesome copies of the books I'm going to read. And there's a lot of editions of most of these books, but I buy the editions whose covers I like and whose paper I like the most. What feels best in the hand, because I really spend a lot of time with books. All right, Micro. In a locked Honolulu office building, 3 men are found dead with no sign of struggle except for their ultra-fine, razor-sharp cuts covering their bodies. The only clue left behind is a tiny, bladed robot, nearly invisible to the eye. Was it merely helping him shave and made some honest mistakes? Or is it nanotech? No. In this case, let's just say the script has been flipped and insects become like monster-like beasts, crazy. And if you had a microscope and could look at insects under the microscope, you will see that they look like demons. They are monsters. And if we were smaller, oh boy, would we have to live in fear and fight every second of every day for our lives. Let's be thankful that a lot of stuff that existed on this planet once before is not here any longer because we might not be. Michael Crichton's micro with a different picture on the back, which looks good, shows his fun-loving, good personality. I mean, he had a good sense of humor. He was patient because he got a lot of flack, and you watch interviews with him on Charlie Rose, and Charlie Rose is giving him the business, and he just kind of laughed it off and very calmly responded in an informed way. He always knew what he was talking about. This is micro. Last book, you guys. And I know you're ready for me to shut up so you can go about your business and go about your day. And I hope you have a great one. It's Dragon Teeth. It's got horrible reviews too. And they say this wasn't published, during his lifetime. And they say that's why. It's because it was no good and it reads more like a first draft. But I thought it was really fun. And again, these are unique. This takes place in the 1800s, right? Yeah, 1876 is when this book takes place. And that's different than all the other books. Except for Pirate Latitudes. Pirate Latitudes takes place in, I think, the mid-1600s. But those two books are different than the rest of Michael Crichton's because they're not about, it's not about genetic engineering or anything like that. It's about the first anthropologists and archaeologists who came across dragon bones and the race for funds to find those bones and bring them into museums and whatnot and sell them and all that, and the dangers of getting them from place to place. But let me shut my mouth and just read from the book. But anyway, again, it's got a nice map in the beginning. The paper's real nice. The cover's matte and feels good. Nice spine, attractive, masculine, grabs your attention. The year is 1876. Warring Indian tribes still populate America's western territories, even as lawless gold rush towns begin to mark the landscape. While the civilized East debates Mr. Darwin's heretical new theory called evolution, two monomaniacal paleontologists pillage the Wild West, hunting for dinosaur fossils while surveilling, deceiving, and sabotaging each other in a rivalry that will come to be known as the Bone Wars. It's the last book in my Michael Crichton collection, and it's the last Michael Crichton book I'm going to buy. I wasn't interested in any of the others. These are the ones I'm interested in. These are the ones I'm going to read and collect. And the ones that I don't collect out of this stack you just saw, I'll make sure I give to somebody who will benefit from it and appreciate it. The last book is Michael Crichton's Dragon Teeth, and I am shutting my mouth. I want to say to you guys, thank you so much for putting up with me, for listening to me. Your support means more than you will ever know. All right, that's it. Get out there, have a wonderful day. Stay cool, and never stop reading. And while you're at it, write your own book.